Neverending Chain by Dragon Translator. Chapter 76. A Late Night History Lesson. Brother, Toothless said late one night of the week after the eelpox was taken care of by Gothi's remedy. Sharpshot said you could tell the fire spiraler told his father about that human hatchling. Hiccup looked up from where he was writing and drawing in his journal. He blinked. Human hatchling. Thuggery? The loud one that lied about you and hit you when you were younger. You do know he's a year older than me, right? Toothless snorted. Dragons don't define age by these things you call years, brother. Dragons age in seasons and stages. A hatchling can stay a hatchling even though they have an adult body, just because they continue to act like a hatchling. So when they act older, they're not called a hatchling anymore? Aye, just like Snotlout. When he grew up and started acting like a proper youngling, we stopped calling him a hatchling. Hiccup snorted. Well, calling Thuggery a hatchling might be insulting to all hatchlings. Toothless and Sharpshot snorted. But yes, I've been able to tell intentions behind the old tongue noises you all make for a while now. Hiccup shrugged. I never really thought much about it, but I'll catch that a warble, squawk, chirp or chitter means frustration, and another means laughter or happiness. I just thought it was because I could observe you all. But then I heard dragons speak in the old tongue, and not see them, and still tell what they are feeling by the sound. I still don't know what is actually said, just what is felt. And I may be completely off the cliff with it. Toothless and Sharpshot looked at each other, then back to Hiccup. Both tilted their heads. Toothless warbled something and Hiccup snorted. You sound as if something amused you. Toothless blinked and then looked at Sharpshot. Sharpshot stared at Toothless for a couple of heartbeats and then turned to Hiccup. He was talking about Sneaky's tale, Sharpshot said. About Snotlout acting silly while sick. Hiccup snickered. He had heard that tale from Sneaky, Iggy and Buttercup, and heard the version Gita knew from her homeland. Both similar, though Gida's had a terror nipping Snotlout and then knocking him down with the Great Hall stairs because Snotlout gripped its neck and slung it to make a point. Hiccup did not like the abuse to the terror in Gida's version, but he did find the terror's retaliation hilarious. You really knew I was talking about something I found funny? Toothless asked. Yep, Hiccup said, then frowned. Am I not supposed to? Toothless grunted, and then shook his head, though Hiccup got the impression that it was more Toothless wished to clear his head than to answer the question in a negative. Humans can't understand the common tongue. They never have. Their ears and minds were never made to understand the noises we make. That's why magic was involved in the formation of the common tongue. We have to pitch our voices so that the magic translates the noises for you. At least, that is what the elders in my old nest always said. Hiccup tilted his head. Does the magic then translate our words for you? Yes, Sharpshot said. That's why we have to translate for you if a dragon was not taught the common tongue. The magic involved in its creation activates when we're taught to pitch our voices, and allows us to understand your words. You have to be taught to pitch your voices? Yes, Toothless said. The elders say the pitch is usually higher than our normal. Hiccup frowned again. Does it hurt you? Both Toothless and Sharpshot grinned. So like you, brother, to worry about that. Toothless said, ease yourself. We are taught how to pitch our voices so that it does not hurt. So, wait, if humans lost the ability to hear the common tongue, why is it still being taught to the dragons? Toothless tilted his head. He sighed. There is a tale all dragonkind elders give, for it exists for all species, and it's because of what happened in the tale that the common tongue is still taught by most dragons. Some have decided it was a burden, and that it would never be used again, and stopped. May I be told the tale? Hiccup asked, excited to learn more about the dragons' past. Toothless smiled. Before civility laws were formed, dragons acted just like the fallen queen. Arrogant, selfish, ruling their nests without care for the members of the nest. dragons were above such sentiments. At least those back then believed they were. Dragons as big as that fallen queen, and even bigger, could command their nests to fight in vicious wars, and did so. All of dragonkind teetered on the verge of extinction because of their actions. Could command? Hiccup asked. Like the power you say is in my soul that commands the nest dragons? Toothless sighed. Brother, your power is both similar and far different than what the elders said those dragons wielded. Your voice can command, but something in it stops it from being like that fallen queen. She wielded her voice without care, brother, just like the dragons of old. You care, though. You love us. That's the difference. She lost what it meant to love. You've shown it from the very beginning when you freed me instead of killing me. And then you continued to show it when you fed me and befriended me and made a tail fin for me so I could fly again. I love all the dragons in the nest. Hiccup said. He shrugged. Some, like you and Sharpshot, more than others, though. And that is why we know following you, even with this unknown power, will not lead us to destruction. Toothless said, that fallen queen came close to destroying that what civility laws were put in place to protect. All of dragonkind. If the dragons back then thought they were above caring and love, how did civility laws get made? The story goes that the alphas who commanded with their voices each believed they should be alpha of all dragons, and that's why they pitted their nests against each other. After one such battle, one alpha's nest elders were severely wounded. He was, as typical dragons back then, left to die. My old elders said a small group of humans, led by a male with fire in his hands, found the dragons, as they were near to the humans' territory. Instead of killing them, the humans nursed them back to health. The elders said the magic inherent in dragons reached out to the magic in the humans and connected. The love and compassion in the humans tempered the arrogance in the dragons, and the arrogance of the dragons strengthened the confidence in the humans. The elders say those humans and dragons flew the winds as one. The rider Bond Gita told us about? Yes. So it was formed due to magic? And the dragons have magic in them also? Toothless chuckled. Brother, our breath attacks are magic. Yes, there is gas in that builds up and can be ignited, but there is magic involved in the making of that gas and the resulting breath attack. You have noticed that Elder Gita can use fire, frost and lightning, and dragons can also wield similar breath attacks? That Elder Gita can create illusions of what is not there, and illusion scales can do similar? Her barrier is something we cannot do, but the Elders of Mildness said that was given solely to humans. Hiccup frowned. But not all dragons use fire, frost or lightning. Thunderdrums use a concussive sound. Still magic, brother. Or did you think a water-based dragon can shout that loudly while still underwater? It would drown when the water rushed into its open jaw. So the Scaldron's superheated water? Also magic. Or it would drown also. And if there was a fire in its belly to heat that water, well, do you not put water on fires to put them out? And what did Gobbus say about a wet dragon head cannot light fire? All dragons wield some form of magic. Just for our breath attacks. Other abilities we have are purely because we were created to have them. Like my kind's ability to use sound to navigate. Sharpshot's ability to sling spikes from her tail. Which Ringfire and all rock tunnels can do that as well. So flying isn't magical? No. That deals with the way our bones and bodies were made, and how we use our wings to interact with the wind currents. Sharpshot snorted. Though, given that humans tend to have a different meaning to that word at times, flying could be considered magical in that regard. Toothless chortled. Well, brother did have a magical flight after Astrid apologised, and I stopped the lesson. Toothless looked at Sharpshot and gave his gummy smile. And I hear the mating flight can be considered magical too. Wouldn't that be something you find out as well, brother? Hiccup asked, smirking. Last time I checked, I was not the one courting a female, dear brothers. Sharpshot snorted. Could have fooled me with how viciously Moondust defended you from that fire spiraler and laid so close to you after you threw up that water worm. She was just offending a nest member. Sharpshot said she was sitting back inside our alpha to comfort him. Sharpshot cackled. Now who's the blind one, brother? Hiccup, Stoic called from the bottom of the stairs. Yeah, boys, get some sleep. You're supposed to be visiting them change wings in the morning. Aw, Dad, we finally got to pay Toothless back for all that teasing. Tease him in the morning, son. You three need sleep. Fine, Dad. Hiccup was certain his father was cackling as the man walked away from the stairs. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this one. So a lot of lore in that one, and I love the teasing. So I like the idea that Hiccup can pick up on the dragon's, for lack of a better word, tone of the old tongue. But the fact that he's not meant to is very interesting. And I love that they're, again, teasing him about Moondust. That's just cute. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye, my guys, and I'll bye my pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.